This is my 2014 Ford Cmax Energi. It has a completely dead battery. I have not driven it in a while and ended up leaving it outside in very cold weather. Came back, it was completely dead, couldn't even open the doors. So I'm gonna look at replacing the 12-volt battery, which is not as easy as one might think. So the doors of this car wouldn't open at all, and so in order to get in, I'm having to use the extra key that's in the fob here. Comes out like that. Put it in, turn it all the way to the left. It's locked that way to the right, and it's unlocked. And that's how to get in order to get to the doors on the inside. So when I open the door, no lights whatsoever come on. There's absolutely no power. And while I could get in that door, if I move to the back where the battery is, problem is the back end won't open. So I'll show you what I did for that. Because I wasn't able to get into the back of the car, I'm gonna have to give the battery some power in order to be able to even open that. So there's when you open the hood, this is how you get to the terminals this is what I'll use to charge it from. The positive is here, and there's a negative post right down there. So if I put this on here and we look at the multimeter, you'll see that I only have 2.85 volts, which means this is completely dead. So, got out my battery charger and hook these up. Positive on there, negative down to the post right there. Make sure it's making good contact. And I will plug this in. Come on my charger. And I'm gonna have to give it some time to get some power in that battery in order to be able to even open the battery. Charge for long enough that now I'm finally able to at least pop the back here to be able to get to the battery, which is not easy at all. I'll move the trash out. And some things we'll have to do is remove this, flip this up. We're gonna have to remove this plastic piece down here. Take this battery cover out. And then we'll remove these 4 screws on top. In order to remove this plastic piece right here, we'll need to remove 4 screws. There's one here, one that's a little bit hidden down here. There should be one right here. It was actually lost about 4 years ago when I had Ford replace this battery, and it took them forever to replace it as well, to be able to replace it as well. And the final screw is right here. This, I believe, is yes, it's a T25. That'll get these out. There's one more nut to remove down here. It's right down in there and it's kind of long, so you really need a deep socket to do that. This is 10 millimeter. And now we're ready to remove this. held in place by clips on the outside there. And from here you can get a really good view of the battery, and you can see that it's still very difficult to get to. So now we'll raise this up and we'll remove these four right here. Just to make this interesting, to remove these, we're actually going to need a T27 instead of the T25. Could use a flathead screwdriver as well though. So I've removed these four screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now all I have to do is lift this plastic piece out of the way here. Remove it. I'll set it aside. And now you can see where this is. You can see it's still very difficult to get to. What I'm going to need to do now is to remove this and this venting piece right here. So in order to keep things interesting for us again, Ford is using an 8mm to remove these. So I'll remove this one. And I'll remove the one down here below as well. The next things that need to be removed are these little plastic pieces here. They're actually clipped sort of in there. There are two pieces. There's this outer piece, and that will come out. You may need to put something in there to pry it out actually. And this other one, hopefully when I pull the whole piece out, that'll come right out. Let me see if I can get to this one or not. I got it. So these two, I believe that's all that's holding this. See, that comes off there, and those pop out right there. So that's this piece removed, this venting piece. And next thing we're going to do is remove this venting piece right here. It's these two screws that we need to remove. This one right here, it's not necessary to remove. So again, it's an 8mm, and we'll take this off. I'll lay those aside, and then this vent right here just pops right off. So there's that vent. I'll set it aside as well. Here we have a good view of the battery and all the connections for it, so we'll get after those. In order to remove these battery terminal connectors, I'll use a 10mm wrench, and I will first disconnect the negative battery terminal, and when I reassemble this, I'll do just the opposite and connect the positive first. Here are the two terminal connectors removed. Here's another frustrating issue that I don't know that you'll have with every battery, but as you can see, the bracket holding the battery in is held in place with a bolt underneath there that's extremely hard to get to. So what I've figured out for it, and I'm sure there are other ways to do it, is I've discovered I can take an 8mm socket and put on there, and then a large Phillips head screwdriver that I'm actually able to push down through here and push into that and unscrew this. And now with this bracket removed, I am finally able to remove the battery. And here finally is my dead battery. The battery that I have in here is a Motocraft Max. It's a BXT-67R. It's a fairly small battery, but I finally got it out.